We are Steve and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show.
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about, does deal review happen before or after the seller commits? You send out a bunch of offers, the seller gets an offer. They sign it. They send it back. You look it up on the internet, and this property pops up in either NeighborScoop, ParcelFact, or whatever you're using, maybe Google Earth, or a combination of all of those. Is that deal review? Or does it have to go deeper? Do you make a decision at that moment? This is what the show's about.
I'm going to even throw one more thing in there. Sometimes they don't send it back, they call you. That, for me, is what I really want to talk about today.
Good. Before we get into it, though, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
All right, David wrote, I'm very close to sending out mailers and just about wrapping everything up, but I'm having problems pricing these mailers right. Join the club, by the way. I've watched the Land Academy 1.0 videos over and over, but still not quite clicking yet. What can I do? What do you think David should do?
So here's the thing, pricing. You know, we live or die by mailer pricing. And David, you're not alone. In fact, I struggle with pricing. And I will struggle with pricing until the last mailer I do when I'm 98 years old.
Heaven forbid.
There's a few theories.
Could you imagine?
There's the shotgun.
Hang on a moment, every team. Wait, he's got to take his high blood pressure medication. Finish his coffee and egg whites, and then we're going to get a mailer out.
What, if all I have to take is high blood pressure medicine when I'm 98, I'm doing just fine.
He's going to be, oh my gosh. There's going to be, you know what's going to happen? I'm sorry, I got to go on this.
No,
this
go
is
ahead.
Funny. Like, I can just imagine. Here you are, 98 years old, and you are still hell-bent on Excel.
Can you imagine what Excel's going to look like?
Because here's the thing. If it worked for me when I was this age, it's going to darn work for me now. And here, I have a funny thing to share with this. We have an attorney right now that there's this title company that we're dealing with. And one of the this title company's been around for a long time. And one of the things about this particular title company is they have an attorney who oversees every single darn thing. It has to go through his desk no matter what before anything is done, and he gives it his blessing, right? And we have got into it on things. Like, there's things that were unnecessary.
Are you going to use this title company ever again?
I only did this time because I needed to, because it was fast. I really don't think so, because they keep screwing.
Good answer.
Oh, it's funny.
Good answer.
No, because they're screwing stuff up. But I'll tell you what, we found out, we got to the bottom of it. I knew it, and I was right. So here's the scoop. One time, too, we finally got into it. He wouldn't release my money until I signed some form. I'm like, I'm exempt from the form. Here's the reason why. And he said, look, Jill, Miss DeWitt, X, probably what he said. I've been doing it this way 4 years.
That is not
an
answer.
And I'm not about to change it. So if you want your money, you're going to sign this form. And I said, are you flipping kidding me? But anyway.
That's outrageous.
I know. So I signed the dumb form. It doesn't really matter. It's an extra IRS form. You guys probably all know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to hide for anything. It's just unnecessary paperwork. My accountant works it all out. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
But it just made me mad. It's kind of the point of the whole thing. So finally today, we got to the bottom of it. My transaction coordinator said, guess how old he is? He's 92. I'm not kidding. He is 92.
Oh, yeah.
This is so it ties into, it made me think of you going, I know it's stupid, but this is how I've always done it, and I know you wouldn't do that. That's what's so funny, too. I want to give you a compliment real quick here. I may be teasing.
I'll pause for this.
Okay. I may be teasing and joking about you being Excel, but you are so good amazingly good with new technology, bringing things up, changing things, showing me things, making me do things, whether I like it or not. Like, Jill, put that down. Here's the new device, or here's the new app, or here's a new way to do things. You even help me. So I want to say, I know you won't be doing this at 98 if you're still doing a mailer.
I'll tell you, at our age, honestly, I want to pat us on the back here. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just, this isn't another family meeting. This is like, there was a time in my life where I closed my mind about tech and new apps. There was a time, it was right, there was always Microsoft Office. And then there was like this gap of there was no real competition for it. And then all of a sudden, all these apps started coming out and everybody became a software developer and there's these new things and my mind was closed. I only use Microsoft Office, I only use Adobe products and a few other things. And that was ridiculous. So you should always have an open mind about tech and tech solutions and the newest stuff that comes out. You should test it and weigh it against the stuff that you're doing. My personal favorite is like people develop add-ins for Excel that are outside of the Microsoft family because they can get that stuff. Microsoft's a massive corporation. There's people that are young people that are very, very, very smart and effective at developing this stuff. So you got to give them a chance. You can't close your mind.
Which is like a macro, basically.
Oh, it's intense.
I know, it's like way beyond that. Then they can sell it. That's so cool.
I would like to. There's an interface that and it's blocking my head more than anything between taking Excel into the database level. And because spreadsheets are very limiting with massive amounts of data. I'm secretly working on this project to make this universe of data that we have in this country, the number of properties, finite. And you can't do that in Excel, not even close. It's a database thing.
I know that what you're working on, and I gotta tell you, it's flipping amazing.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling and amazing.
It'll change. It'll allow us to get our arms around any given data set. And it's not going to happen overnight. But I think about it all the time. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be extremely useful and profitable and fun.
I'm not sure we answered David's question.
No, we didn't even approach it. Pricing. There's two theories on this. Shotgun theory and the rifle theory. So let's break it down to zip code. So David is going to do a mailer and it's in a zip code or it's in multiple zip codes, but he can see maybe there's 5 zip codes in his mailer. Break it down by zip codes, sort for that in Excel, and take a look at all the data for completed sales and existing for sale property from multiple sources. Take those averages, average them out. This only works if you have a huge data set. If you have 3 properties that have been purchased or sold or for sale in a zip code, especially with rural areas, this isn't going to work. And this is where and we should do a whole class on this. We should do a class on pricing. That way that I just described is the rifle approach, but it only works with a lot of data. And so it only really works in very urban areas because you don't want to buy property in rural areas where there's a lot of comps in for sale property anyway. It's too much competition. But it is effective. And then you reduce it by whatever percentage you think is works for you. Like, we default to 20% and then make adjustments. A more likely way to price a rural area with a very low amount of data is to eyeball it. Is to go in the old school way, take the cheapest property that's been purchased or sold in the last couple of years, cheapest property, reduce it by 20% and hit it. Here's the trick, and here's the key that if there's anything that you really like, whatever you're doing, stop and listen to this for a second, because it's saved my butt with Jill multiple times recently. I price everything out, and then she goes in with her team. I say I'm done. She goes in with her team. It takes probably 20 to 25 random properties out of the mailer, out of the
Spot
spreadsheet.
check them.
And assumes and pretends that the purchase agreement came back with that price. Right. And she gets excited or not. And she'll come back and say, this is overpriced or underpriced or...
I love it.
Yeah, or I hate it or it's adjusted. So a lot of times I'll go back to that zip code and I'll just say, you know what, 5,000 acres, how we're going to go out on this. Go out, meaning out into the mail. Just because there's not enough data. So, but you got to make sure this. Here, David, here's the whole thing. When that thing comes back, when those purchase agreements come back, Jill's famous for saying, hey, it's better if they're too low versus too high. I can raise my price. If they call in and say, yeah, I don't like it at 30,000, but 35 is good,
100%.
Usually have a deal.
100%.
If I go out at 60 on that same property, she's not going to say at 35 works. It just doesn't. You can't unring that bell or undo that happiness.
Yeah, it's very easy to add money to the offer because of what they bring to the table. Oh, I didn't realize it had X, Y, and Z. That makes sense. But when you come in, it's very hard for me to go, shucks, we offered him 60. No wonder he signed it so fast.
There's a lot of.
It's worth 20.
A lot of cute little tech companies. Most of these people are former Land Academy members that have these pricing tools that are out there. And it's just, you can't, just trust me on this. There's not enough data. They're tech guys. They're not real estate guys. I'm not saying anything bad about these guys personally. They're very, very, very inexperienced and very young. And you can't push a button and price a mailer. You have to get in there and really spend some time. It's going to take you a whole day at least to price a mailer. And that's okay. Because we've already done the financial feasibility study for you. It's a great way to make tons of money. Today's topic.
The financial feasibility study is done. I don't know. Let's see how many. You know what? Steve and Jill, I realize that you've done 16,000 transactions. You're nearing 16,000 transactions, but call me when you hit 20,000. Then I'll take you seriously.
Or when we started this, it was all we did was explain ourselves about why this works. I haven't explained myself in years.
Isn't that nice? That is true.
All we do now is say, no, this is how you do it.
Exactly.
Not
making
like, does this work at all? No,
or making sure they're a good fit. Like, look, there's a lot involved. That's the reality too. I think people go, okay, we get it, we see it, we know you're doing it, everybody else is doing it. I want to do it, and it's not a good fit for everyone. I want to, so that's some of the stuff that I kind of do.
Joe.
I'm kind of making sure. Look, you can't. It's not like you're going to go from zero to owning a sports team and know everything that's involved in owning a sports team. What the heck? There's
Where did that come
I don't know. I'm buying the Dodgers, and I got a self-study course to tell me how to do it.
Jeez. Oh my gosh, you're hilarious.
Could you imagine? You know why the Dodgers came up? I found out recently that where we used to live, we ran into our old next door neighbor. He said, "Hey, do you know who moved into your house?" No. Well, it's a member. He's a player for the Dodgers. And I'm sure he told us his position. I don't remember any of it. It's like I'm like, oh, that's all I heard was Dodgers. That's cool. That was it. And part of me's like, I want to go by them. Maybe I'll go by and check out to see if we left mail. Anyway, I don't really care. It's not my thing. But there is someone in our in our staff. I forgot. My transaction coordinator is a huge baseball fan, huge Dodger fan.
That makes sense from a personality standpoint.
I'm not kidding. Follows them. It's almost like she's the person at the game sitting behind home plate, taking her own stats with her own notebook kind of thing. And then she's like, who is it? And I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know. Darn it. So I told her she could go by and check for some mail for us. She can walk up and on our behalf and get the mail if she wants to. I think it's the funniest thing. So anyway.
Today's topic, does deal review happen before or after the seller commits? This is why you're listening.
So that, by the way, someone who takes baseball stats, you see that that's a personality. You can tell that personality.
Sure. Let me tell you about one of the most famous baseball statisticians and what he did for the rest of his life. His name's Warren Buffett. And he spent, I've never met a person.
I have heard of that gentleman.
Never met a person who, in their youth or even beyond that, who is really into baseball and can really sit there and say why. This player did this player did this umpire made this call in 1978, and I'm not sure why, who is not just an incredibly intelligent person and almost always really doing something good with their life. So that makes sense from a personality standpoint. They're detail-oriented. They get stuff done. Probably, I'm sure there's a material percentage there, totally not mentally healthy. But I love baseball. I don't love it to the point where, I keep score. But I don't mean keep score. I mean just score the game. You've seen these people score the game all the way through.
That's what I was talking about.
So, but I love baseball. I don't recall the guy's name either when our neighbor mentioned that.
Thank you. I love the beer. I love the fun. I love the hot dogs. I love the social part of it. That's what I like.
So if we were going to go to a baseball game next week, what would you wear?
What would I wear?
Because you always have an outfit in mind.
Oh, really?
For everything that we do.
Oh, jeans, tennis shoes, and maybe a top like this or a T-shirt. I don't know.
Jill and I are actively shopping for a second home in the mountains where it snows. And she said, I'm getting a snowmobile and 2 outfits.
I'm getting a snowmobile.
She said that exact sentence.
Snowsuits. I did say that. I'm in. I'm getting a Polaris. I thought this through. And
Did you price it all out?
No,
yet?
but I know what I want. And I want one that with its heated everything and reverse. I know that.
You're like my dream girl.
Thank you.
You want a little slot for your rifle?
That's all. No, I don't really care about that.
All right.
I'll carry the can with the bear spray.
Anyway, back to the outfit.
Oh, well, that was it.
Just a one-piece snowsuit, really warm, with the hood and everything.
Totally with a belt. With the belt and it zips.
See? So you do have an outfit in mind. What color is it?
Probably light colored.
Like
cream.
Oh my God. There's this review on iTunes about this podcast, and it's we have like 900 5-star reviews and 1 1-star review, and the guy said, "Are you guys going to talk about land?" To that one guy, this is not the show for you.
Well, I'm sure he's long gone by now. Okay. Back to the topic. Does deal review happen before or after the seller commits?
So let me reset up for Jill. Because she does most of the deal review now. I get in there if there's questions, or if it's a questionable deal, I get involved, but Jill makes 95% of the decisions.
You're our on-call consultant.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel good? That's got to feel great.
No,
you're not in the muck.
I don't feel any way about it.
You're not in the muck. This is like, oh, it better be good if you're taking it to Steve.
Is that what people think?
Oh, gosh, yes.
It better be good?
Well,
or just like they don't really want my opinion then? They're just
no, they do want your opinion, but they do not want to come to you with something that's not really important or something big that they really need help with, that they have thought it all through.
I don't know if this is good or bad.
No, it's a total compliment. It's like they want to impress you. They want to impress you. But my point of this is,
I just want to get a deal done.
Aren't you happy though that you are the consultant that's there for us for free?
I'm happy to have this meeting with you right now.
Thank you.
Would you rather be that guy?
The consultant for free?
Yeah. I mean, would you rather be me and I'm directing the traffic with the deals?
No, I kind of like the directing the traffic.
That's what I thought.
I do. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say I wanted that job. I said, aren't you happy with that job? I hope you feel special.
I do. I don't know.
Not in the short bus way.
I never thought about it until now. And here's what I really go to bed or wake up with whenever this comes up in my head. Jill's going to do it anyway. In general, everybody's capable as hell. They don't, even on the deals with that are marginal.
It's true.
You know what? I haven't reviewed a deal since this new your team is in place, really this whole year, where you guys, where you've come and said, should we do this deal? So you've already decided you're going to do the deal and it's a great deal. You're just asking about the price.
Isn't that beautiful? You set this up so well, it's hard for us to screw it up.
Yeah.
That's the best thing ever.
And between the two of us, I'm a more accepting high-priced person than you. You're a price smash
ruthless.
It down to the bottom pricer.
It's like I go in to try to kill every deal.
Yeah, you do.
You're like,
and that's why we do great.
You're going to make me want to buy this from you when you were done.
I'm just like my role in all this is kind of like just a talking head, like the president, like there's just people, everybody else is doing stuff. So I do things.
Yes, you do a lot. So set me up here if you would,
all right,
please.
so a deal comes in, you send out a bunch of mail, somebody's, in your words, calls back and says, you know what, I do want to sell my land. The offer's purchase price was 35. You send an offer for $35,000. For $40,000, you can have it. What happens next?
Or sometimes they won't even have an offer. That's just not enough.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things like that. So my team takes those calls, and that's a very good point. That's we're going. This is not what I had in my head. I apologize.
No, what did you have?
Well, the topic was, when do we do the deal review? I'm going into a little bit of a negotiation thing that I don't know if I want to go there right now.
Well, does price? So in
My team doesn't negotiate. I don't want them to negotiate.
in my head, when a deal comes, I always like to talk about price first, before I even look at the dirt, before I pull it all up and get excited or not excited or spend any time on it at all. My first question, and I used to be the deal review person for a decades actually. My first question was, when they called in, does the price on the purchase agreement work for you?
Right, and that's in our script. So that's really how it goes. So what I want to share is the seller calls back. The seller calls, they have the offer. Yay, I do want to sell. Sometimes people right then and there drop everything and start looking up stuff and seeing if they want to buy it without making sure they're serious and without confirming the price. That for me is the meat today, and what I really want to stop everyone from doing, because it's very easy to get excited to go, I have a live one, and you really don't. You don't know if you're on the same page with the price. You haven't even really looked at it to make sure you like your price, and you don't know they're serious because there's nothing signed, even though they tell you. So what I want everyone to take away from this show today is, make it easy, make it simple, make it clear with your sellers who you are, what you're about, you want to buy the property. If that price works for you, great. Please sign that offer for me, send it in, and we'll get back to you. I don't want you to do any deal review before then, because you will be forever wasting time. I'll have 20 calls come in, and there may only be one or two in there that are really serious.
This is great advice.
And I don't want you spending your day looking at these 20 deals when they had no intention of selling anyway. Sometimes they get your offer, they're calling you back, and they're saying, I am so happy, I do want to sell. Great, what's the information? Again, like you're going down the rabbit hole. You're looking it up online, you're looking at this and this, like, great. And then they say, oh, I'm sorry, but not that price. You're like,
that can happen weeks later.
And you don't want to do that.
And
you
hours and hours of work later.
If you're good, right? If you're good like me, I'd be taking the call, and I know how to look up things right away. I'd have NeighborScoop open. I'm reviewing the property as we're talking. I'm making sure I got the owner, finding out the story. I'm just saying, and I forget to talk about price, or forget to make sure they're serious. I could spend 15 minutes easy finding out the backstory for them and go, oh no, that's my dad. I'm Junior. I'm Bob Jones Jr. Oh, great, thanks. Now we just found out a mess.
This happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This happens more than 20% of the time.
That's why I want to bring this up and make sure you don't do your deal review until you have the seller committing. So here's what I want everyone to do. Call, first of all, if it's a signed purchase agreement that's mailed to you, fax, not only fax, but scanned to you, picture sent to you, whatever it is, you've got that signed purchase agreement, they're on the same page, you're on the same page, start doing your due diligence, treat it as normal. This is for the percentage, and that's a pretty good chunk of people that their initial thing is when they get your offers to pick up the phone. And whether they like it or not, they may not even thought it through that much yet. They're feeling you out. I don't want you doing any work until you make sure they are serious. So what I want you, and I'm assuming this is you doing it, because most of the time you're not me and you don't have a team. A lot of you are new doing this, and you're doing it, which I want you to do this too. I want you to learn this 100%.
Sure, you got to do it wrong sometimes.
Right, wear all the hats. And exactly, like Steven said, do it all wrong. And then figure out where you can start replacing yourself and filling in pieces. So the guy calls back, hi, I got your offer. You're like, yay, I got a live one. You need to find out right then and there, strictly price. What works? Is that the price for you? Hell no. Okay, well, great. Then you gotta find out. Well, here's the deal. Then, this, what price does work for you? I usually give them. I kind of have a sentence or two speech that I come back with.
What's the speech?
Which is a version of, all right. Let me just say this then. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. This is how I roll. Whatever price we agree upon is a price will be net to you. There's no agents involved. On this one, let's just say there's escrow. I'm going to go through escrow, assuming where you are in your taxes. Are they paid? Yeah, they're paid. Okay. Is there anything I need to know about the property? Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's the deal, Mr. Johnson. Everybody has a number. What is your rock bottom? Hey, I take cash tomorrow if I could get this price number, and give them a minute to think and see what they say. And if that is in the ballpark for you, I still don't want you to do any due diligence. I still want you to say, you know what, Mr. Jones, that's in the ball. You know what? I'm going to look at that. Here's what I need you to do. Please cross off my number, write your number. I want you to sign it and send it to me.
Or take a picture of it.
Whatever you want them to do. Usually they can scan it. I need the purchase agreement signed, and then I'll go look at it. Now you're like, oh, okay. Now I have something to work with. Now you can still come back and change it, by the way, or you can come back and say no, or you come back and say yes. But my main point is, because even if he says, I know you sent an offer for $38,000, $50,000, you got a deal. And you're in your head going, I can make that work. Because I think I was looking, this is worth about $110,000. So even if I buy it for $50,000, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good about it. It's because it's worth $150,000. I was going to sell it for $110,000. All of these numbers work. He could wake up tomorrow and change his mind. And you're going down that path. You're like, we got an agreement for $50,000. I'm waiting for the purchase agreement. I kind of started to open escrow. Still waiting for the purchase agreement. And you find out he talked to his next door neighbor, who they just worked out a side arrangement. He gave him $20,000 down. He's making payments, whatever it is. Stuff happens. I just don't want you to waste that time. So get something. And then again, and we'll cover this more. I know we have in other shows, and I'm happy to talk about it more if you want to. How to go back on, say, I looked at this again. I know you said 50, and I initially thought 50, and you wrote this thing. I can't do 50 after all. Here's why. And you can make that happen.
Something mentally committed. There's a mental commitment that goes along with the signature.
Agreed. That's the point.
That's what Jill's getting at. And I'll tell you what, this didn't happen. We didn't just come up with this and we implement it. Correct. This is over years and years of experience of doing it the wrong way.
Right.
So let's translate this to online dating.
Oh, this is going to be easy.
Corporate attorney.
Easy.
She's 38, makes $128 a year, works probably 60 hours a week. She's brunette, works out on the weekends. You can picture this.
Totally.
She's on Match.com, and a guy, however that works, I don't know how any of this internet dating works, but somebody reaches out to her and says, I think we're a good match. And I'd like to, after maybe a back and forth on the internet, I don't know how it works, says, I'd like to take you to dinner. Maybe we can see if there's anything here. Does the deal review happen before or after the girl's commitment?
Oh.
What does she do? Does she look the guy up on Facebook?
Oh, she's already done all that.
So the deal review, his review, happens long before the commitment. She's on the internet checking the guy out and putting the time in. So it's the opposite of what you should do in a real estate deal.
True. She's checking him out because I'm not going to waste my time if he's like, if I go one place and I go to LinkedIn or Facebook or somewhere else and his profile picture is drastically different and I know that it's really him, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not going to have communication.
So it's really about the picture, or what about how does he look on paper?
That too. What if I go to his LinkedIn profile and it's drastic? I see the college is the same, where he grew up in the same. That part's the same, but he was laid off.
So it's about the picture.
No, it's not that. You know what it is?
Men get.
It's about being honest.
Men get ripped. Men get really criticized for being visually stimulated, and when in reality, women do too. They just don't talk about it.
Oh, we talk about it, just not with you. We totally talk about it. It's a classic thing. Hey, right behind us here on the Strand, by the way, if you don't think my girlfriends and I don't walk along and have codes for everything that we see, you are wrong, brother.
Give us a code.
Applesauce.
What's that?
There's a Target code. I came up with applesauce. Another one of my friends came out with Target. Another one came up with I'm not gonna tell you what any of these mean because some of them are so grossly inappropriate. It's not even funny. Someone would be like, they would go out to a sit-down dinner with that person. That's another code, and then that's enough.
Wow. Jeez. Okay.
Don't you dare use this against me, by the way.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because me and my buddies never do stuff like this.
Okay, thank you.
Never. We actually just wait silently for our women to come home and have the dinner done and everything.
As you should. Just kidding. No. But, and you know what, to finish your example, for me it's just about being truthful and honest. That's it. I hope
that's exactly what you did not say on the Strand here. It's not about truthful and honest. It's about a handsome guy.
Oh, that's just nothing. That's eye candy. That's just fun.
Okay.
That's not serious. No one of us. You shouldn't be. Anyway.
So you're gonna do a whole deal review on the Match.com long before you ever decide to sit down.
Oh yes, because I want to make sure that's good. I want to make sure on paper we're a good fit, kind of thing. And it's not really to do with. I just want to make sure the stuff checks out. Women, maybe it's a woman thing. We have to be careful and cautious. I'm not gonna let you. It's still the same way. I'm not gonna let you come to my house. We're gonna meet somewhere for dinner.
That goes without saying.
Usually we're gonna.
I just wanted to know when the deal review went.
I'd rather meet for a coffee or a drink. That's really it. Dinner comes much later.
Oh, see, I don't know.
That's okay.
Deal review happens before you meet.
Well, good thing you're committed.
It's the opposite with the real estate. The deal review happens after the commitment happens.
Oh,
is my point.
Wait, after the commitment? Once the girl buys in, you're like, yeah, I'll keep her or not.
No, I'm saying I'm comparing it to real estate.
No. Go back, please.
The deal review.
Go back, please. Okay, yeah.
Happens before there's any type of committed date.
What do you guys look for?
Anybody who's breathing who says you're not disgusting.
That's who you take out to dinner.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not like, I've always heard French people say, my life is every day is one less meal that I can have. There's only so many meals that I can have and I want to make it count. Or I hear women say, there's only so many calories I have a day, so I need to make them count. And sometimes I'm going to eat just one piece of chocolate cake and that's what I'm going to eat all day. Or sometimes I'm going to eat like a normal person because there's a finite number of calories. Men are not like that at all. Men are like, I'll go out with 50 women and see which one sucks the least. And that's the truth.
That does not make me feel really good right now. I don't know what to say to that.
I already went without the 50 women. It already happened. You're the one I chose.
Sounds like I suck the least.
Part of it that's not untrue.
Wow.
I don't sucks the least is
time.
Not sucks the least is not a good way to say it. Fun and interesting and open-minded and wants to get rich together. That's really what I mean. I don't mean sucks the least. I just mean fun.
Good save.
I mean fun is what I mean.
Good save. I think I'm going to save you now, right? Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called How Professional Land Investors Weigh Price versus Attributes. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
That could have gone south.
Nah. Not on the show.
Oh.
I can't argue on the show.
Well, it will here in a minute. In a minute, we're about to be after the show. That's what I'm saying. It could go south.
The truth is, most men, or all men, it's not. It's just most men are like, is she into it or not? In the beginning, it really depends
So
on
it's really
how old they are.
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So okay,
It's enthusiasm.
Give me.
Well said.
I'm gonna ask you 5 female attributes, and I would like you to give me on a scale of 1 to 10 how important they are.
This is the greatest game I've ever played.
Okay. Enthusiasm.
You mean 1 is not important, 5 is important?
Wait. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving you 5 things. 1 to 10, you tell me 10 meaning it's very important.
Or imperative, yeah.
Imperative. 1 is I could care less.
This is am I speaking for all men or me?
I want all men.
All men, enthusiasm's an 8. For me, it's a 10.
Okay.
It's imperative.
All right. Appearance.
It depends on the age of the man. I can speak for myself. Appearance is like a 4. For men, it's probably 6 or 7.
What am I trying to say? Their self-confidence.
Oh, for me, that's imperative. For most men, I think it's probably a 3. In fact, I think most men probably too self-confident of a woman is probably not good for them.
Interesting.
But for me, it's 10. Okay. There's no way this would work if you didn't have like full-blown confidence and pushback when it's needed. I respect that.
How about education and background?
0. I think for most men, that's 0.
And
how about? I'm going to ask these questions for you at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, and how about financial stability?
0.
Really? You don't care if a woman has like? This is all.
No, come on. No, you know me.
It's very interesting.
We can make our own money.
Well,
if a woman's got enthusiasm and the right attitude and the loyalty and a team player and all the stuff that you have, Jill. I mean, since the day I met you, I've been getting more wealthy. And so what you brought to the table in the beginning, it doesn't matter.
Thank you. As have I.
Yeah, it's 50-50. I think there's a lot. I'm glad you're doing this because I think there's a lot of mystical things that go on with both genders about other people that are just fiction. And it's because of TV and stuff.
That's true. That's very true. It's sad. Did you want to do that with me or were you done?
Sure. I mean, I'll tell you. You know what I want?
Tell me.
People have asked me. You know this. You've been there recently because all of our friends seem to be single, and except for a few sets of
friends. I can't figure this out right now too. Like, how did that happen?
You know what I want in the bitter end out of a relationship? I want to build an empire together. I want to build something together. And you're the only woman I've ever met that's really like, I think you just in your soul wanted that before I met you. Yeah. And it was unrealized. And I think we help each other. This is a Jack and Jill show. Mm-hmm. We help each other. It was totally not conscious. Like it wasn't something I checked off of a box, checked off of a list when I met you. But for some reason, we do very well together and we get better as we go on with time. And I've never experienced that before.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We could end on that because it's happy.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content we hope you're here for. Hitting the like button on specific episodes helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for how we write these future shows. We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.